Hello, welcome to my channel and welcome to Lucid's Advanced Manufacturing Plant in Casa Grande, Arizona. Today is Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. We're looking at 3 Gravity parked out front of the semi-knockdown area at the Casa Grande plant. These Gravity are headed for KSA, as you can tell by the CCS charge ports on the front left bumper. This is the east staging lot. Very few cars here. Here's a view from May 20th. You can see probably half as many cars here now as there were before. This is looking to the north at the same east staging lot, and we're going to continue to fly west and look at the west and furthest west staging lots. There's those 3 Gravity parked in front of the semi-knockdown building here that we were looking at the beginning of the video. And as we continue west, we'll see the surface track. There's actually a Gravity out there testing right now. There's a lot of Gravity that are parked in front of the semi-knockdown building here. There's a lot of Gravity up there in the upper right that are parked next to the factory. We'll take a closer look at those. There's 2 Gravity here, looks like North America, based on where they're charging. And a couple Gravity at the higher speed chargers clearing back. There's a couple more Gravity. There's 1 Gravity in this kind of 4 section about 3 rows down, right at the east edge. Clear up north is where all the Gravity are. There are a few Gravity down south. This is just a comparison to May 20th. And then we'll continue on west to the furthest west lot. And so it looks to me like the west lot actually has a few more air in it than it did on the 20th. The furthest west lot, I'm going to say probably has a few less Lucid air on it. I have heard that the 2025s are no longer available for custom order, so it's inventory only as Lucid tries to clear out the inventory in anticipation of starting the 2026 model year for the Lucid Air. This is the body in white at the north edge of the factory next to the stamping facility. So this is for the mid-sized or the planned mid-size. This is just zoomed out a little bit further, and we will fly along the east side of the factory here. Typical view of the employee lots. We're looking at the mid-size body in white under construction. In the foreground here is body in white for air and Gravity, and in the background is the stamping facility. As we continue further to the south, you'll see in the background is the paint shop. And then past the paint shop, we'll move into general assembly and powertrain and drivetrain. It's a beautiful day here, probably mid-80s. We did have a little bit of rain last night, a few thunderstorms. You can see a little bit of water in some of the retention basins around the parking lots. Nothing too heavy, but it cleared out the air and made it a nice day here. You can see almost no wind. The flags are pretty much flying limp there. So it's a great day to be out here taking videos. No update on my Gravity order. I'm still waiting for the heads-up display, which puts it towards fall or end of the year. I have heard that there are some white Gravity now that are getting lined up for production and should have in soon. But so far, everything we've seen has been green or black, and that's what I've heard from most of the VINs that have been assigned. The Scottsdale studio on Saturday gave me a call, told me they have a Gravity to view in the studio, not available for test drives yet. I went out and took a look at it today. It's beautiful to look at, not too busy in the mall today. I heard on the weekend that it was very, very busy, very, very crowded. So it was good to see that without having to wait for a lot of other people there. And we're just continuing to the south through the general assembly. We'll come back to the semi-knockdown area here, which is kind of that separate building to the south. You can see in the background the west staging lots, and in the foreground we'll come back up on the east staging lot. You can see those 3 Gravity that are parked out in front of the semi-knockdown area. There's the inventory air, not very many of them, just a handful of them. And now let's take a close-up view, see if there's any other Gravity mixed in here. I know in the last video there was actually a sapphire that was mixed in here. I did not see a sapphire today. I've actually started to look a little bit closer. I'd kind of given up on seeing sapphire, but there's a handful of Gravity right there. They threw a white air in there to confuse us, to make us think they were making some white Gravity, but mostly green, 1 black. All of those look like they were for North America. They had the charge port in the rear, which means it's the NACS port. And the rest of these, I didn't see any more Gravity here. You can see somebody's going to be getting a red one pretty soon as they're getting ready to load that one onto the car carriers. And we're just flying to the east, looking at these 2 staging lots, and then we'll fly back to the west, up a couple of rows, to take a look and see if there's anything else here. And I don't believe there's any Gravity in these rows, but it's good to take a look and make sure and get an idea, a better idea of how many air there are here. So I know that there has been a couple deliveries here in Scottsdale of the Dream Edition Gravity. I believe there's been a couple elsewhere in the country, but I think the number of Gravity that have been delivered is still pretty small. So there's a lot of Gravity on the lot here today. I would expect this to be getting out to the studios for both test drive vehicles and for owners if they're Dream Editions, and more deliveries. So I do expect to see a lot more deliveries in June than what we've seen so far. We're just taking another look here. At the end of this row, there might be Gravity, or it might be up 1 more set. I don't remember for sure. Yeah, it must be up a little bit. There it is, right there, kind of on that 2nd row up from the bottom, clear on the in the east side, on the right-hand side. It's kind of a strange way to pull the air out backwards with respect to how it's parked, but I guess it works. There's enough room to do it. And I didn't see any more Gravity in this row until we get up to that furthest north area where all of the Gravity have been parked before. And I'm going to say there's even more Gravity today than on the 20th when I was last flying over the factory here at Casa Grande. So here is the Gravity. We can see there's still a few air mixed in here on the far west side. I'm not sure what all the tags are on these Gravities. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of notes or tags or something on them. That covered one's been there for a little while. It's the only one we don't know for sure what color it is. And I think once we get past those 2 air, I think everything else is Gravity. Mostly Aurora green. There's a few black in here, but for the most part, it's Aurora green. And then, of course, there's a few Gravity parked here at the end and charging. And we'll just take a look at a little close-up. You can see all the Gravity parked up next to the factory here. You can see 1 Gravity on the surface test track, and you can see another Gravity coming out of the little wash area there. So quite a few more Gravity up in this area than what I typically see. I'm not going to spend a lot of time at the surface track. My guess is if I wanted to, there would be more Gravity coming out. So that's it for today. Thank you.